guys, welcome to episode 5 of The Beat on the Street. I'm Michael Anthony and I have a great assortment of music videos for you today. Also coming up later, I have an interview with Nakatomi Freefall, who just recently released their album called Twilight Radio Show. Don't forget you could also check out my website at popartav.com for music news, announcements, interviews, and reviews. Let's get this started with a video by Strange Eyes called Close. And guys, that was an awesome video by Strange Eyes called Close. Definitely check out her music on Bandcamp and some of the links below in the video description. Here's a new track by Droid that was just recently released. Buckle up and get ready for a wild ride. This is called Hi-Fi Death Drive.
want all of your late nights, good times, favorite songs. Want you to tell me where you're going wrong. I want all of your heartbreaks, the safe places you've gone. I want all the bad things that you've done. I want everything you want.
You and me all night. You bring instant sunshine to my life. You and me all night. You bring instant sunshine to my life.
Coming up next, here's a new collaboration from Connor and Dark Smoke Signal, who have been bringing us some of the best sounds in cyberpunk and dark synth. This is called Watch 'Em Burn.
Here he is, ready to pay the price for our home audience.
Here is a new artist I found from Noodle Bake Records. Big Empty Zero is a modern abstract painter and electronic musician with a debut album coming out on May 1st. He also has live streams on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday, which I'll leave links in the video description. This next music video is called Monsters Among Us. Welcome back to the show, guys. I hope everyone's having a good time so far. So for this week, I wanted to bring a new segment to the show, something that we could all have a good laugh at. For this next part, I asked music producer Russ Lovelace if I could use one of his tracks to really brighten up this next video. Check it out. Just for the record, guys, you'll never see me do any of those moves on the dance floor. Coming up next is a European EDM dance pop group called the Keplerians. Their new EP was just released with 3 awesome songs that you could find on Bandcamp and other music platforms. This next video is one of their songs from the EP called Final Frontier.
Humankind has not woven the web of life. We are but one thread within it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. All things are bound together. All things connect. When the last tree is cut, the last fish is caught, and the last river is polluted, when to breathe the air is sickening, you will realize too late that wealth is not in bank accounts, and that you cannot eat money.
Okay guys, coming up next is my interview with Nakatomi Freefall, followed by one of their songs. Margie, how are you guys today?
Great.
Doing great.
Thank you for taking time to come on the show. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
So, guys, you just had a recent release, I should say, Twilight Radio Show. Explain
Yeah.
to me about the album and what it was like making the album.
I when we first put this together back in like baby COVID days, it was more just an idea because Margie and I had worked together in the '90s in bar bands and stuff, right?
Wow.
And I just knew that I wanted sort of her voice for it. But we did this first album, but we were just so excited to be working together and doing these songs that things like the production and everything sort of suffered. It was like we just sort of got the songs out there to get them out there. And there were it's not that I totally dislike the album, but I just knew we could do it better. So for this one, it was like, okay, well, let's try and get a little bit of a system going between the two of us, which I have ADHD, so that's no small feat.
Mhm.
But it was better this time in every single way. Like we added some gear. We started doing collaborative writing for some of the tracks on the album instead of like, here, Marge, here's a song. Figure out how to sing. It's
Girl.
because I didn't want Marge's role to be like an eternal guest vocalist, right? I wanted Nakatomi Freefall to be us and our everything from our like serious ideas to our dorky ass personalities, right? Like it just so when we did the collaborative writing, that got our energy even higher about it.
It was a lot easier than I thought it would be, actually.
Yeah.
We just play off each other really well. And once we decide on a theme, it's really easy for us to throw ideas back and forth. And when we write, it's really fast. It's like it's just
Oh, wow.
about,
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It flows,
it's
right?
really live.
And then we
Yeah.
tweak, right? And it's
There's no writer's block. It doesn't happen.
oh yeah,
As soon as we're
That's a
together,
good
it's like,
thing.
yeah.
the best example I could think of for that was when we were recording the track off the album Clean.
Oh yeah.
Because I had this music and I'm like, I do not know what to do with this lyrically. I have a theme. Let's write. and I figured, okay, we'd figure out the lyrics and everything. But we stayed on it and then we recorded all the vocal takes and there were everything wasn't a first taker, obviously. Like we put in the work, but it just didn't feel like work. It was like, whoa. And then all the tracks were there, and I went back through and I tried to find issues with like either keyboard tracks or vocal tracks, or like I was looking to be an asshole to myself with that, and I was just really happy with how it all turned out. It's like, sometimes you're waiting for the other artistic shoe to drop,
Yeah.
but it never dropped on that song. And that's what got me. That wasn't the first time we've collaborated, but it was like, yeah, I want more of this. Like this is what's going to keep it fresh down the line too.
And for me, what was really great about this album was rather than Corey kind of saying, this is kind of what I'm picturing, here's what I'm thinking for melody, he just kind of said, here's the lyrics, here's what I've got so far for the track, come up with what you want. So there was a lot of me just experimenting and bringing stuff out, and us doing harmonies together. It's kind of more fluid, and I would say very organic the way we write together, and it's just It feels good. By the time, like after every recording session, I'm floating for days.
Yeah,
Like,
same.
it's so great
Awesome.
the way we just and I mean we've been creating music together on and off for 30 years. So
Oh, wow.
it's like, a hockey team where you just know where your partner's going to be. It's like that. And it's very fluid when we write together, and it's so much fun.
And I feel like the intuitiveness between how I write and produce on the music side and how I know what your strengths are and what you really love to do. It's just I don't want to think about it too much, right? Like when she was for Clean, when she said, "Oh, he gives me lyrics," that was the one time where it was like, okay,
Oh,
that's the
yeah.
loosest term for lyrics ever. It's like,
Yeah.
here's a theme and a few words.
Yeah,
And
well,
then let's
yeah,
see
we
if
started
we can
collaborating. We
replace it.
started,
Yeah.
the first album was more, here's some lyrics.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
with this
yeah.
album, there was a lot more us writing together, which has been wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And I'm really enjoying it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool to hear that you guys have been working together for a while in music.
Yeah, he can't get rid of me. He keeps trying, but it doesn't work. I keep showing up and being like, let's play.
I did that like in the movie AI, where I said, we're going for a drive. And then we went out and I just left her in the woods.
There's always breadcrumbs back, so
Yeah. She showed up with an auto tune, and I'm like, okay.
I have a keyboard.
Okay. Oh yeah, this is the most. We're keeping it super Canadian. We both got the Tim Hortons. So.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Yeah, you guys are north of me right now. I'm in Jersey, New Jersey over here. It's cold, another cold day, but hopefully warming up later this week. I'm tired of this weather.
Fair enough. So many of the synthwavers I love are like closer to that East Coast, right?
Oh, really?
I'm a ridiculously enthusiastic Bunny X fan, and but just I've never been out that way, right? And I want to go
Field trip.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to
Let me
go
know.
to New York and just come around to Jersey and I want
It's
to
a lot
take
of
an
fun.
island.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm close to New York City too, so it's always, almost like the best of both worlds. I mean, it gets tiring sometimes because it's very congested area, but it's still a good time. New York City is always a good time.
Definitely have to come see.
Yeah. If you ever come west, like even to Vancouver, we'll come hang out for like a show or whatever. Like if
Yeah, I
you
would love to. Definitely. That'd be awesome. So you guys had Hurricane Girl. Was that the first single from the album, or was that one of them?
Yeah, it was intended to be the second because there was a song that we did called Magic that had 4 different collaborators. We joked that it was the We Are the World of synthwave kind of thing.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
But the collaborators, it was supposed to be a remix, so there was supposed to be a regular set version of the song with just me and Margie singing. So we released it as a synthwave remix, thinking that that song would appear on the upcoming album, but it didn't make it. So Hurricane Girl, was the first one that we put out. It's also we decided to shoot like a fun. It's got DIY written all over it, but it was a fun video to do, right? With my daughter was in part of it, and she had a blast, and she brags out to her friends she's in a music video.
That's awesome. Did you?
Both of us got our daughters involved at some point.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of my favorite songs at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I love that song. Yeah, I can't get it out of my head.
That was going to be my next question. Did you guys have like a favorite track from the album?
Definitely Hurricane Girl. I'm really digging Can't Stop right now. That one I play in my car a lot, and it gets me, unfortunately, breaking a few bylaws, I think. Yeah. I tend to get a little heavy foot when I put that on.
The cool thing about that song is we just channeled our late or our mid-90s club vibe.
I am
right?
such a club girl. Yeah.
So it was kind of synthwave retro and kind of like something you'd hear at not even like a raver club or anything. Like it's something you'd hear at just mixed in with pop tunes in the 90s, and then once I had the keyboard hooked into the chorus, I was like, this sounds super Gary Newman. But then Marge put her vocals on it. She it's a terrible pun, but you kind of Martha watched it, it was super power, and it was okay, I'm digging this.
You can't stop me from doing that.
Yeah, Can't Stop is a good song.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
My favorite is, I think, Staring at the Sun. I like the Marge's timbre doing and her energy and her there were parts that required like restraint, thoughtfulness kind of thing kind of to them. And the song doesn't start out sounding like it's going to be like that. Like it's got a couple of harsh, almost kind of like chiptune sounds with reverb on them and everything.
Oh, okay.
And it was just the idea of somebody feeling deserted, and I didn't want it to come across as schmaltzy or like it was trying to elicit too much angst. It was more like to be reflective, and I felt like Marge really nailed it. And then, yeah, I got kind of caught up in, organizing the different songs, figuring out the order they would be in, and all this, and it was all in my head, and I was getting too close to the song. So I went through a period of time where it kind of almost fell off my radar, and then once I started to set the order, it's just like, I'm really happy with this. Like, I'm satisfied with all the songs on the album, but like, that's my favorite.
It was a lot of fun to create and record. Like,
Yeah.
we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
It felt really good.
My favorite was the accidental overlapping round harmony where there was a reverb track from one of the vocals that I just drag and dropped off to the side and forgot about because we were moving stuff around. And then when I'm playing it through, all of a sudden it comes in and it's like perfectly like on beat, but like 2 beats later from what she was singing. And I'm like, oh, that sounds amazing in the headphones, but it was entirely accidental. So I just tweaked it. Yeah, totally. And it wasn't even, and the piece of vocal wasn't even from the part she was singing. It was like a harmony from the second verse that ended up near the end, but everything worked. And I was like, okay, I'm not touching that. I'm just going to tweak the mix a little bit on that, but that stays.
That's really cool. I always like to hear like backstories like that with the music and the tracks and everything. So how did you guys get into electronic music? Were you guys into a different like genre before and then you got into electronic, or?
It's always been electronic, but just different. Our first collaboration was, can I like people? Oh, yeah. It was like, okay, it was called Steel Bomber, and it was mid-90s, and it was kind of, I want to say almost Evanescence.
It was Evanescence,
like,
Evanescence,
like 5 years earlier kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
It was very industrial synth.
But with the
Chick
rock.
rock,
Yeah. At the industrial synth, Chick rock, yes.
We
That
had a
sounds
lot.
pretty cool.
It was so much fun. That was where I really felt like I was starting to fit into singing live, was when I joined that. And
That's so much so diverse a background for singing and music.
oh yeah, I took opera for a couple of years, and I sang in like a professional choir as a teenager, and I've done a lot of classical, so that was kind of weird. So going into a band with somebody I knew from high school, out of high school in my early 20s, and all of a sudden he's like, "Can you rasp it up a little bit? It's too clean." So I'd go out and have a cigarette.
Yeah.
And I come back and I'm like, "Okay, raspy enough for and I go and scream so I can sound the way they wanted me to, and I wrecked my voice, but it worked. It was great.
I'm so sorry. We were not,
Really cool.
we're not using
Oh, how boring. But anyways,
but
we were young.
and we took it too serious. This is our one shot at starting,
Yeah.
right?
Here's a cigar, Margie.
Yeah.
Fun. It's the 90s.
So you know what though, I don't feel too bad because she says we met in high school. So it should be noted that the first time that I became really aware of her in high school was I was in a terrible suburban kid hip hop band.
Oh,
And we were
wow.
part of the high school.
It was great.
And
was great.
our drum machine stuttered for a sec right as we went to start, so we just reset. Like it wasn't a big deal, but then her and her friend started from like the bleachers, and I didn't know Marge was what she's just like, "Go white boy, go white boy, go!" and the year was 1991, so it's right around the Vanilla Ice time, right? So
It was when it was all happening. Yeah, it was a thing.
which is a good segue because that's how I got into electronic music, was through that project.
That's crazy. That's really cool.
I used to be called DJ Crossfade.
Yeah, hip hop was really big back then. I think everyone took either a liking to it, or tried to do something with it.
Yeah.
I think it really, really blew up around probably mid-90s, I want to say, roughly.
I was
That's really
always
funny.
really influenced by new wave too.
Same.
And I was really heavily into The Cure and Depeche Mode and stuff like
Oh, okay.
that.
I
And, yeah, Massive Attack. Yeah, so basically, synth it's just always been in my blood. And so basically anything Corey wanted to do, I would be like, yes, please, let's just do it. So he'd always, several times Corey's come to me throughout the years and said, hey, do you want to do this? And I don't think I've ever said no.
no.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah, we were also in a band together called Porn on Beta in the mid 2000s, and it was like an EBM kind of synth pop thing. We did it for we put out one mostly instrumental album before we added Margie in, and then Margie was playing guitar a little bit too, and we played live for a bit, but those would be easier recordings to get you copies of it and more relevant, probably.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
But they're we've done a bunch of different styles of video, and some things more sincere than others. Like sometimes I'll do a music project, I'll be like, oh, I just want this to sound like so angry. I'm not really an angry guy, right? Like so like I used to do things just because I thought that's how it should sound, and that's what's great about this and on this album as well. Is it's just like, you know what, I don't fit into the perfect synthwave archetype, but I've got the pedigree as far as like when I grew up and my listening, like my influences growing up in popular music were more were like crossed over to new wave like Margie's, but I also had an unabashed love of hair rock. So but it'd be weird. I'd like listen to like Def Leppard, Hysteria, and then be like, you know what would be good after this? Some Pet Shop Boys, and I'd vibe on that. So that's why
I still do that.
Yeah.
So I've seen you guys on Twitter and I believe Instagram. Where else can we find you on social media?
You can find us on a very underused for the time TikTok account.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, we just need to add a little more to it. It was kind of my personal TikTok, which I just started doing with my daughter a bit, and then we're like, we did some fun stuff, but there's definitely more to come for that, and there's going to be more interaction with it, just because it's just so prevalent. I mean, like in pop music, it's different because it's like the 2-minute TikTok pop song or whatever. But with like just to get like some of the lighter side of us out, like kind of the dorkiness. That's what we
We're
want.
absolute goofballs, and we have no shame, and we don't get embarrassed. So
That's awesome. That's good.
TikTok is a place I think that we'll explore this summer when we have some time to hang out.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I just
You
went
gotta-
on.
Sorry, sometimes you have to let some of the professionalism go and just be a goof. So.
Yeah, you got to have fun with it. If you're not going to have fun with it, then it becomes a chore to do, and I'm not interested in that. If I have enough chores to do, I don't want to. It just sounds like I'm on a farm. I'm gonna go milk the cows now.
Actually, I just went on Facebook and I'm just like, between Twitter and, Instagram, now Facebook, I'm just like, I don't know if I could do anymore. It's tough.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a lot of work.
I don't really maintain Facebook because the messages from Facebook come into my Instagram inbox anyway. So like when I Instagram, I just check off the Twitter and check off the other, so it goes to all three at once. And then if I want with Twitter, sometimes I'll do specialized things because Twitter's very good conversationally, especially among musicians. I find, you know what I mean? Like I enjoy Twitter. I thought I would hate it because
me too.
Because of what I'd heard about it before, but no, I got in there and it's like, oh, this is relatively troll free. Like,
So guys, did you have any future announcements, anything you want to announce at this time?
I have a couple things. One being that, and this is still in the works, but Heartbeat Hero has requested to do a remix of our song Clean. And he's got the stamp, so I imagine that's happening. Sheridan Black, who you know very well, is also going to be remixing Can't Stop for us. Although I know she's got a lot on her plate, so there's no set time for these. But when they come back, as they come back, I'd like to try and maybe get a little remix EP together. Also, as I mentioned, we are planning on trying to be a live unit. Initially, we said by late spring, but I think it's more realistic to say by summer. We've, as Marge said, we've done lots of projects and stuff, but we haven't played live since Born Beta. That was 2004 was the last time.
That's crazy.
And I'm itching for it. Like I'm not even nervous. I want to play in front of people again, and I want to take everything that I wish I'd done before in live performances and do it right this time.
Like socks?
What's that?
Like socks?
Oh no, it was shoes.
Oh,
I always
shoes,
wear
sorry.
socks. I used to have this thing. I don't like wearing shoes in a house or in a building. I mean, if you have to, right? But when it's up on stages, a lot of the stages would have like kind of like a thin carpet.
Corey was well known for this.
So I just couldn't play with shoes on. Like I would just be in sock feet. I used to have people thought I was insane, but I used to have a Roland Juno 106 that I can't believe I'm admitting to this. I abused my Juno. I didn't know exactly what I had at the time, how good it was, and I duct taped it to the stand because I had watched Nine Inch Nails play, and they had these stands that were recoil stands that you could shove the keyboard and it would bounce back to you. And I knew I couldn't do that. But I wanted something like that. And then I saw the guy from Jesus Jones. He connected his keyboard to his stand so he could move around the stage. It was a good idea.
Get you some wheels.
Well, that was the big problem. The problem was I could have moved around, but none of the places we were playing live were using wireless for the keyboard, right? So I had patch cords. I couldn't go anywhere. Like so I would just rock it. So I'd rock it back and forth. And then one time as we were ending the song, I went too far forward and I had to try and make it look like I was purposely easing down to the ground. And but so I don't want to do stuff like that. But you can't keep me rigid on stage. It's just not me. No. Right? Like even at karaoke, I'm like standing on speakers and shit. So.
I'm gonna work on the shoes though.
No, I'll wear shoes. We're good. I'm past that point in my life.
What about maybe like flip flops? Not even. Just nothing. Right? Nothing has to cover.
No, I want those mall set elf shoes. Oh boy, no. It's going to be a cool live show when we get it together. We want to do it right. It's going to be nice having Chris, our drummer. I've known him for years and years, and he's really enthused about it. We have two different ways we could go. Chris has a set of electronic drums, so if we're on a bigger stage, he'll be playing like a full kit with a backbeat. And then if it's in smaller venues or we need to be more portable, I have a Yamaha D65 just outside of your view right now, which is fantastic, and we've been putting it into practice already. We just need to. The next things we're going to be doing, like there's 6 or 7 songs that I could track, but I would rather practice for live. You know what I mean? I just have the jam, right? So
yeah, we got time.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
That's okay, guys. So thank you. I appreciate you guys taking the time to be on the show. We'll definitely plan something for a future show as well, too.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All the success of the world, Michael, for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Let me we'll go on to one of your songs right now.
Cool. Thanks. Have a great night.
doesn't need your approval or opinion on her choices or her gender. You don't need to defend her, just watch and learn. She's in control of her body and her life. Double standards blow away her power, blowing out the lights. Oh, superhero, cool, Amina, less than zero. She's a force of nature climbing the wires in my brain. Bring her to the surface, now that she can breathe and set your power free. Hurricane Girl.
Okay guys, we're going to write out the show with 3 more videos. One from Rodney Cromwell. The next one after that will be your friend Esteves, followed by Darlin, the band. Hope you enjoy.
Shops are empty, my heart is too. When the alarm rings, will I find you? Never been closer, now we're apart. Find the transmitter of my heart. Won't let it be, won't let it be, won't let it be. Catastrophe, won't let it be, won't let it be, won't let it be. Catastrophe.
This is what I have to tell you. A fair story where the hero dies and no one cries this time. And it's troubling to believe that this is what I am becoming. And if it all amounts to nothing, this time no crime. So I counted all my pennies, bought a ticket to a ferry that will bring me to another shore. It's unbalanced and unsteady. There's no trade, there are very few who bump into when love will shine. And it's troubling to believe that this is what I am becoming. And if it all amounts to nothing, this time no crime. This time. This And it's troubling to believe that this is what I am becoming. And if it all amounts to nothing, it's not true, it did mean something this time.
It's not hard, it's not hard, it's not hard to get the help you need. You just gotta face the demons living in your mind and your body, and admit that you are weak to someone you think is strong. And I've gotten good at that with anyone but you, so I'm not coming over tonight. No, no, even if I might want to, you know that I want to. But I think about it, I scared I'll disappoint you. Say breathe, don't sweat it. Say breathe, don't sweat it. I dream about you, I think that's good enough. That you want me, and I'm sweating. You want me, and I'm sweating. Ooh, breathe, don't sweat it. Say breathe, don't sweat it. Ooh, breathe, don't sweat it. I scared I'll disappoint you, but it's not hard, it's not hard, it's not hard to get what you want. Get rid of distraction, then get focused on that dream inside your heart. And you go for what excites you, what invigorates your soul. And I've gotten good at that with anything but you. You invite me over tonight. No, 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 even if I want to, you know that I want to. Oh, but I think about it, so scared I'll disappoint you. Say breathe, don't sweat it. Say breathe, don't sweat it. I dream about you, I think that's good enough, but you want me. I'm sweating, you want me. I'm sweating. Ooh, breathe, I'm sweating. Say breathe, I'm sweating. Ooh, breathe, I'm sweating. I guess I get out disappointed, babe.
I spy with my little eye a scared boy tonight. He still thinks to fall in love could ruin his life. I spy with my little eye a scared boy tonight. He still thinks to fall in love might threaten his life. Breathe my inner child, breathe through this, breathe through this.
But I think about it, I guess I'll skip out disappoint. Say breathe, don't sweat it. Say breathe, don't sweat it. I dream about you, think that's good enough, but you want me. Don't sweat it, you want me. Don't sweat it. Ooh. Breathe, don't sweat it. Say breathe, don't sweat it. Ooh, breathe, don't sweat it. I guess I got out disappointed, babe.
Attitude up. So far, so good.
Okay, guys, it's about that time to wrap up another show. This was episode 5 of The Beat on the Street. Thank you to everybody for watching the show. I hope you liked it. I hope you're going to subscribe and leave a comment and let me know what you think. Special thank you to RetroReverbRecords for supporting my show on their YouTube channel. Also, be sure to check out my website, popartav.com, for more news, announcements, interviews, and reviews. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.